Hello everyone! Today I want to talk about the meaning of the Three of Wands. I also have some examples from different decks to illustrate some aspects of this card I want to talk about. What I will share today is not the ultimate truth, because I'm still studying the tarot system of the English school, and my perception of the cards often changes over the time and with practice. Also, often the meanings of the cards are quite different from what I've learned in the popular system, which is my favorite and the most basic. So I'm sharing with you what I currently understand about the Three of Wands from my current level of development, but I'm sure you will find new useful thoughts in this video. So the card belongs to the element of fire. The sun is in Aries here, and the card corresponds to the Sephira Binah. In the Golden Dawn, the card was called Lord of Established Strength, meaning that something has been affirmed and strengthened, and the person acted with the right motivation. All these associations will help us interpret the card, not just by looking at the picture, but also by understanding the card's place in the tarot system and its nuances, which can't be captured in the single image. But first, we will talk about the image and the conclusions we can draw from it. The card depicts a man standing with his back to us, looking at the ships. We don't know whether they are his own or someone else's. They also may be either departing or arriving. It's impossible to tell from the picture alone, so everyone interprets it as they prefer. Wade's description of this card doesn't make it much clearer either. He says, a calm, stately personage with his back turned, looking from a cliff's edge at ships passing over the sea. Three wands are planted in the ground, and he leans slightly on one of them. So here, the only clear thing is that the person is filled with calm grandeur, meaning he is confident in himself, his strength, and the rightness of his action. This connects with the Golden Dawn's title. And on this deck, for example, I see this type of a person. Look at the pride and dignity with which he stands like a king of the desert, gazing down at everything happening around him. The ships we can see on this card, they represent trend and communication in general. And here we can find the easiest meaning of this card. It often symbolizes business, a good deal, or trade. Moreover, if we focus on the picture, one striking detail is the open, unrestricted space in front of the man. We can see it on the other decks also, like here and also here. For me, this symbolizes perspective, open opportunities, the ability to look further into the future and to plan more solidly and concretely. The circumstances surrounding the person allow this. They are trustworthy. The man stands above and sees far ahead. You know what is this like? It's as you've entered a new endeavor, and after just a little progress, other, broader opportunities begin to reveal themselves, ones that weren't visible from the starting point. For example, someone is hired as a secretary, and after a month of work they realize they could use their other past experiences to help the company and the management in additional ways, for extra salary, of course. This opportunity wasn't visible when entering this position. So the Three of Wands talks about a wheel set in motion, opening further prospects. Or, for example, a girl meets a guy and expects only a romantic relationship. But it suddenly turns out that not only can she enjoy with him, but he's also a creative person with big goals, and he suddenly suggests starting a joint venture. Or, for example, his dad just happens to be looking for a good engineer for his company, which the girl is. None of these was visible from the starting point, when the Ace of Wands was simply a desired opportunity and energy, or when the person was deciding how to act next in the Two of Wands. So the Three of Wands expands horizons. This expansion of perspective fits well with the numerology of the number, because threes, they speak of growth, further, that's a difficult word again, further development. They speak about expansion and more concrete shaping of the situation, about an initial result. Mostly the person on the Three of Wands is standing. Except this card, but we will talk about it later. It might seem like a calm, passive state, but it's not. The Magician is also standing, for example. A passive state, when a person does nothing at the moment, is more like the Two or Four of Swords, where people are sitting or even lying down. There are also cards in the deck where people are running, fighting or working, and this represents active action. Standing still, like on Three of Wands, to me, does not indicate that the person is waiting or resting. They are simply being active at a normal pace, without strain, but also without laziness. In the Pagan Tarot deck, which is a non-standard everyday life deck, the girl is sitting unexpectedly, but she's still busy working, investing in her future. So for me, this card doesn't signify a calm waiting for results as some books interpret it. It's a 3. It's the Sun in Aries. Oh my God, how can it mean waiting? And that's how we smoothly move into astrology. In the second decan of Aries, the element no longer doubts victory and continues to gain strength, manifesting maximum energy. The Sun is in a very favorable position here. This card means inspiration and courage, stubbornness, and the drive toward one's goal. We can see it on every card, like here and also here. The girl is investing stubbornly, investing into something. This card also represents a person's readiness to take responsibility for their development and future. The direction has been chosen, and in some time the fruits of their efforts will come. Let me give you an example. Just imagine you've had a conversation with a potential partner about a business venture, and now you know all the details. You've realized that the scope is much broader and more global than you initially thought. You've seen the bigger picture, and now you know exactly what you need to do. All what's left is to take action. And the person represented by the Three of Wands is likely to start right away, because this is Aries, remember. Three of Wands is not the Ace of Wands, although they may seem similar, because some time on Three of Wands has already passed since you've been looking for opportunities or floating your idea. You discussed it with someone and considered possible options on Two of Wands. So now you've finally found a real person with whom you can make it happen. You met with them, you obtained the initial results in the form of their agreement to participate, and also some additional clarifying details. So in other words, the situation has taken shape. The prospects are clear, there is optimism and hope for a good future and a readiness to work. In relationships, this card also speaks of some kind of foundation from which something bigger can be built. In different situations, this foundation can vary. For one couple, it could be the first kiss, which open enticing horizons. For another, it might be plans and attempts to have a child. In any case, Three of Wands indicates that both partners see a valuable future in what's happening right now and are ready to invest further in it. Further again, I hate this word. Also be careful to distinguish the suits. The Three of Wands doesn't speak of love or intimacy. It speaks of a desire to strengthen something that has already taken shape, possibly even for financial benefit or the advantage of being in a relationship with a good person. However, the card doesn't imply that love or intimacy is absent in this relationship. It's just something we don't see from this perspective. The Sephira Binah associated with all threes is responsible for solidifying and concretely shaping what is about to be born. However, anything not non-viable is not allowed to come into existence. It's like how a pregnant woman's body tests the fetus and may miscarry if something is wrong. On one hand, it's very sad and dramatic, but on the other hand, it's very wise. Because continuing to nourish a fetus with critical development issues without vital organs, for example, would be wasting the body's energy and resources on something that is guaranteed not to survive. In the context of this card, this represents wasting your time and energy, nurturing in your mind something that is not viable, whether it be in work or relationship. This is exactly the negative aspect of the card. The person is similarly hopeful about the future, investing their efforts trying to make something happen, but nothing is born from it. It's a non-viable fetus, as painful as it may be to realize. It didn't pass Binah's test during its formation and was rejected by the universe. In all three different suits also, there is some initial underdeveloped result that Binah tests for viability. And depending on the suit, it either leads to something solid or fades away, never fully taking shape. In its negative aspect, the Three of Wands speaks of delays and setbacks, showing that things are deteriorating. The project or goal that the person has been nurturing with such care never gathers enough substance and strength to be realized. This leads to many unfinished tasks, loose ends, pieces of the puzzle that never come together. The person tries here, it doesn't work, so they put it off for later. They try there, get rejected, and that hangs in limbo too. As a result, there are many loose ends draining the person's energy, still occupying their minds because they still want it, remember. In the Guardian Angels deck, the negative meaning is depicted, in my opinion. Look at the man standing on the cliff, and you can see dark, threatening clouds loom overhead. And in front of him, an angel is holding a log right in front of man, as if preventing him from moving forward. But behind him, there is a little devil pushing him in the back, saying like, "Go on, you can do it, you're awesome, everything is possible." It even seems like the man could jump down under the devil's influence. The card feels dangerous, teetering on the edge of the cliff. Often, this card's negative or problematic or reversed version has played out for me as the person realizing the futility of their efforts. They understand that they strained themselves for nothing, that nothing came out of it, but somehow they still don't lose hope. I don't know how it happens. They still think that maybe they should have done something differently, added something else, said something else, or that it's just Mercury retrograde. In the end, despite all these attempts, nothing works out, and the person is forced to acknowledge the non-viability of what the Three of Wands was pointing to. There are many other nuances in this card, but I don't even know how to cover everything at once. So in this video I decided to focus on the most important aspects. To summarize, when we see the Three of Wands in a spread, we understand that the process is gaining momentum and the person is moving towards something, seeing a future in it, and believes it's beneficial and profitable for them. Whether that's truly the case cannot be determined by this card alone, especially if you are reading only upright cards. You need additional cards to show whether there will be results from this venture. I have a video on this channel on how I use and read additional cards and spreads, and I'll leave a link to it in the description. And that's all from me. Big hugs to you all and take care of yourselves.